I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself. I don't need you, I do it myself. Yeah, I bet on myself.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Okay, dream so big that they think I'm crazy. Let out the beast, no, they can't tame me. Don't play with me, better mind your business. I cannot stop now, I ain't finished. I'ma keep on going till I got that. Okay, the way that I'ma do it, they can't top that. No way. Critics trying to hate, but I don't talk back, I know that. Plotting on the kid with the bull, tell them all that. I'm the one that I'ma gamble.
Welcome to week 8 of For Fantasy's Sake, presented by Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill on the For Frequency's Sake podcast network, presented by Durham Remodeling, Ryan Allison Tattoo, and Jared Zook Country Financial. I'm today's host, the one with the most, DJ Jarvis. I'm joined by Joe the Show Winkle. How you doing today, Joe?
Not too bad, all things considered. You know, sports have been a foul mistress the last few weeks, but we're here today and we're ready to jump back on the horse. You know, you're also the host with the most wins from your favorite NFL team, so that's got to feel good.
Yeah, that's accurate. Today's my favorite holiday. It's National Tight Ends Day.
It doesn't hit as hard. It doesn't hit as hard this year because like every tight end sucks in a way.
True.
So
That's true. And George Kittle doesn't play till Monday night, and you know he's the OG of National Tight End Day. But you know we're gonna do this. We're gonna open presents. We're gonna hopefully open touchdowns for our favorite tight ends today.
Yeah, exactly. If there was ever a day for the tight end position to have its hay, it would be today. Rhyme accidentally.
I don't think that was an accident. All right, well, I guess let's get the show on the road. We'll be joined by Brian here shortly. He was in our shot sheet, and then now he's not. But
yeah, our house is so empty today. What is going on?
I know. Everybody's opening their National Tight Ends Day presents. I'm sure that they'll be here shortly.
Is it me? Do I smell bad? Oh well.
And I guess with the National Tight Ends Day, let's kick it off with the tight end conversation. Is Kyle Pitts back?
That's a great question. I think the answer to that is probably yes. He's been good lately. It's been a good stretch for him. Just trying to pull up his numbers here.
Last week 7 for 65, 3 for 70, 7 for 88 the week before that. So last 3 weeks he's he's been pretty good. He's been targeted 8 times, 5 times, 9 times. Cousins has been able to kind of find him in the passing game. Of course he doesn't score touchdowns.
He does not. That's the problem.
He had that touchdown in week 1, might have had a touchdown in week 3 if he didn't get smothered in the end zone against the Chiefs. But he's not been terrible this year. He did have a stinker against the Saints. I think that was week 4, but
yeah, but every tight end really, when you think that's in the top, if you look at every tight end won this season, like a starting tight end, they've all had at least one stinky game. Like,
yeah,
Cole Kmet's a top 5 tight end right now, and his first 2 weeks were bad. Or his first week 1 for him was bad. He like barely played. Like Tucker Kraft, I think is another. He's a top 5 guy, and like he's been very touchdown dependent lately. But his his first few weeks weren't anything.
So from my buddy Ryan McDowell, he's with Dynasty League Football. Each week he kind of puts out the most like QB1 games, tight end 1 games, so on and so forth for the year. So George Kittle has the most tight end 1 games at 6. So he's been a top 12 tight end 6 times. Then you have Bowers at 5, Ertz at 4, and then Brock. What's Strange's first name? I can't even think of his first name.
Brenton.
Brenton Strange, yeah. Cade Otton, Dallas Goedert, Dalton Kincaid, Hunter Henry, Jake Ferguson, and then Pitts. Mark Andrews, Matt Laporta, Trey McBride, and Tucker Kraft have all had 3 tight end 1 weeks. And I guess that brings the question here for it with Kyle Pitts is what do we even define as back? Is like back like he's playing London games?
I think really it's just the fact that he's in an offense that's competent. And I know they kind of sucked last week, but, they got a favorable matchup today. He's definitely worth starting on a weekly basis. He's comfortable. They have a rhythm. Target share matters. They're going to pass a lot. So I think, it's definitely worth. It's not, we're at the point now where it's not like you have to sit there and be mad at yourself if you start him.
For sure. For sure. Agreed. Alrighty. And speaking of startable, are we reaching the point where we're just kind of dropping Patrick Mahomes?
It's hard to flat out drop him, but you can't start him. You got to hope for a second quarterback on your bench that you got room for.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many other options out there. Like, you can easily name 12, 13 quarterbacks that are probably worth playing in fantasy at the moment over him. Which is weird, but it is what it is at this point. They just operate in a sense where, even I think their offense eventually will. I mean, it might eventually start to really click, but it doesn't have to. But also
Right.
at the end of the day, they, in their sense, it's not like they're not scoring,
Right.
but
Yeah, last
they
week
just
had 4 rushing touchdowns.
exactly, yeah, they're running the ball really effectively. They're not explosive running the ball, but they're efficient because they have a really good success rate doing so. So, yeah, it's the biggest problem is that he's just turning the ball over. Really, that's the biggest annoying factor when it comes to his game so far this year. Is that his turnovers are up and it's bad. Like the turnovers are really bad.
Yeah, he's 2 interceptions thrown to offensive line or defensive linemen.
Right.
Even worse. 1 touchdown's been to an offensive lineman and 2 picks have been to defensive linemen.
There was an interesting stat on Mahomes the other day. He's one of only 2 quarterbacks that has had the ball inside the 10-yard line. I think the stat was more than 7 or 8 times, and he's only had 1 touchdown pass the entire time. So maybe there's some regression to the means where he has some touchdown passes moving forward. So
back in 2017, I think that was a stat too. It's just that they just never had the ball inside the 10. I saw another one in 4-point touchdown leagues. There's been 23 quarterbacks with a QB1 week, and none of them are named Patrick Mahomes. Even in 6-point touchdowns, he's only had 1 week in the top 12. So
yeah, I mean his only really good game was week 1.
Yeah,
and even then
that was even though that was just the first quarter and a half of week 1.
Yeah, outside of that, it's been a bit up and down, but they're winning, so who cares?
Right, exactly. Alrighty, and I'd love to know what happened with Travis Etienne, but are we in Tank Bigsby season where we're starting him every week?
No, he's not auto start. It's a little matchup dependent. Just because the Jags are kind of a horror show. You could probably get away with holding your nose and starting him today. Peterson clearly just has an ick with ETN, and also I guess ETN does it to himself because he has some bumbling issues and such. Bigsy was really good last week. I think they have a decent matchup today with defensively. I know everyone's all gung ho about Green Bay and their defense, but the Packers defense is insanely turnover dependent. And they're like the kings of red zone roulette this year. Which that's how you get good at defense. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just they're susceptible to still giving up yards. So we'll see. I think today's a game where they could get scored on a little bit and the ball moved on them. So I think Bigsby's worth starting in a pinch, depending on who you have, but it's not like you have to.
Great segue there then. JSGOTF wants to know if Chuba or Tank Bigsby.
In that case, I think
Bigsby.
I think Bigsby, because the Panthers are starting Bryce Young and they're playing the Broncos. And I just are they going to have 100 yards today?
Right.
Well, they don't have anybody starting in regards to their skill players either. I mean, Deontay's out. Adam Thielen, they'd hoped he might come back, but he's not playing. I mean, there's nothing in Carolina. So you got to hope Bigsby will score a touchdown. And the one thing about Bigsby, he wasn't a bad pass catcher in college. So I'm not sure why he's not getting targets in the pros. Probably will.
Yeah.
Because it's the Jags and they make no sense.
I would agree with that. And then just kind of we'll go to the receiver question here in a second. I just want to kind of jump on these why they're here, kind of talking about ETN as well. I mean, we're kind of staying away from ETN, aren't we?
I would, yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't start
even before he had the injury. Bigsby was already starting to cut into his workload. So, yeah, I mean, I'm staying away from ETN for sure. And I don't think he's been. I mean, the 10:30 inactives haven't come out, but it doesn't sound like he's playing today. I don't think.
Do you think in a league with limited IR spots or no IR spots, he's worth having a bench spot?
I mean, it's 12 team, yes.
Yeah, I think in my
10
opinion,
team, probably not.
It's kind of limited to where your bench spots are, but I think there's so many guys that are injured and everything like that I'd rather wait on, like Nico Collins, even Juju. I think I'd rather wait on than having Travis Etienne waste a bench spot.
Yeah, a lot of it just depends.
Yeah,
it just depends on how many bench spots you have. You know, if you're limited, then it's going to be tough.
For sure. Speaking of guys we were kind of just waiting on the last few weeks, are we now in the realm where we're firing up our Tyreeks and our Jalen Waddles with Tua back?
Tyreek Hill, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
my bad, Brian. Go ahead.
To me, I mean, in a DFS perspective, I can feel comfortable doing both Hill and Waddle. In a regular season league, I'm not sure about Waddle. I think that's possibly where Joe was going with that.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill, yes. Jalen Waddle, no. That's what I would say. Yeah, I think Tyreek's gonna have a big game. Jalen Waddle's just kind of a coin flip, but yeah, as long as unless Tua goes out there and his brain turns into egg salad in 6 plays, then you're screwed. Sorry about your damn luck. Shout out to James Storm, the Cowboy. But outside of that, I think Tua's the right Tyreek's a play. Jalen Waddle. Here's the theory. You'd rather have Jalen Waddle on your bench and him go off than starting him, and he has 0.7 points.
Agreed. And
I will say this about Tua. Even last year when he had all of his complementary weapons and he had his complete health and stuff, he was only like QB 17. So his lack of a rushing floor doesn't really help him in regards to overall fantasy production for himself. But it can make his other players. I think like Achane and Hill. I'm starting both those guys, and I think he can improve their floor. But I don't know if I'm expecting big things from him himself.
I think that's a really selfish statement out of you there, Brian. I think that Tua's rushing floor is rushing to the hospital.
Yeah, I was a little generous for sure.
Yeah. We should clip that. That's going to get me canceled. All right. And one more question before we go, because it's pertinent. At quarterback, Tua or Anthony Richardson?
To Anthony Richardson and nobody in comparison with him. I wouldn't start him if the choice was myself and him.
Oh yeah, that's tough, man. I think two is probably the answer, because if there was ever a week where he's going to actually go nuts again, it would be this week, because first week back, they're going to do everything they can, must-win game at home. So yeah, I think there's a world where he plays pretty well today. So Tua.
Hey Joe, quick question. Since Brian's now a starting quarterback, we're going to assume it's for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yep.
However, now that they have Desmond Ridder, we got to throw a third dude into that rolling joke.
Holy shit, they have Desmond Ridder now? I didn't know that.
Who's got
Yeah.
him? The Raiders?
The Raiders, yeah, and he may play today.
I saw that he signed. I couldn't remember who it was with. So.
That's
I'm
crazy.
gonna need a good quirky one after the break here from that one, Joe.
I do think if you can combine Tua and Anthony Richardson's rushing ability, you'd have a top 5 QB.
If you can make a transform out of Tua and Anthony Richardson, yeah, but their injury risk is very, very high.
Yeah, well, yeah,
very.
It might be like the highest injury
like infinite
sustainability. It'd be like playing NFL Blitz all over again. Every time they get hit, it goes into that cut scene where their just head explodes, or ankle, or ribs, or
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it would not be good. The injury slider would be turned all the way down.
Yeah, you'd have to turn injuries off if that was on Madden for sure.
Yes.
All right, let's head to commercial. On the backside, we will play a little NFL or Ultimate Roster. We'll be right back.
For frequency's sake, has you covered on all things sports. From the squared circle to the hardwood and the gridiron to the speedway, we've got something for everyone. Walk down the aisle with the boys from Cards Subject to Change every Sunday as they take a deep dive into everything pro wrestling. Head on over to the hardwood with Doug Green and Watching the W each week for all the news from the WNBA. Want more insight from Pit Row? Check out the Green, White, and Checkered podcast, where they give their insight on everything happening on and off the track. Need your gambling fix? We've got you there. Dan Hancock and Gotham Gambling will help you cover the spread with the Golden Ticket Show. Football more your style? Explore the waters of NFL DFS with DFS Deep Dive with Brian Craighead and Jordan Kernan each week. More into the science portion of the game? The Professor John Bush and Dennis Michelson take you into their science lab and dissect your week in the data lab. Need to know who to start last minute? The network's flagship show, For Fantasy's Sake, is here in a pinch. The fellas come to you live every football Sunday from 10 to 11:30 Central with the week's best DFS, gambling, and lineup advice. And wrap up your Sundays with Joe Winkle and Nick Brinks as they come to you live with educated ignorance, looking at all the day's action. Not enough football on Sunday? Not a problem. Kick your feet up at lunch on Monday and slip into the football lounge with Mark and Dan while they look at the week that was in news, notes, and more. For frequency's sake, you know what we mean.
All righty, we are back. I did want to note, just came through from Adam Schefter. They used to make fun of me when I got these notifications when we did the show the first year. T. Higgins is officially inactive. I have notifications from Adam Schefter turned on my phone, so it's not like Adam Schefter texted me or anything. But yeah. All righty, let's play some Ultimate Roster here. I thought it'd be more fun. I was hoping today's subject would be something about tight ends, with it being National Tight Ends Day. But it wasn't. It was something about Joe Gibbs, players who played for Joe Gibbs. I don't know that Joe even knows who that is.
I absolutely know who Joe Gibbs is. What are we talking about? Come on now.
Yeah, because of racing. That's why, right?
Exactly.
But
he also coached the artist formerly known as the Redskins back in the mid 2000s for a few more years. Came back.
Yes. So I went with one that's pertinent. Hopkins homies must have been an NFL teammate of DeAndre Hopkins. All career stats will count, even while on other teams, and we can't pick DeAndre Hopkins.
So does it? Okay. Does it? Okay.
No,
So
sexual assaults don't count. So
what? Oh
I
yeah,
said sexual assaults don't count. So we only get Deshaun Watson's football stats.
right. But does it mean? Does it? Do they have they had to have played a game? Like, would Mahomes count here?
No, and also this challenge was from Wednesday, August 21st. So
Okay,
he was still a Titan back then.
good. So the quarterback is obviously it's obviously Deshaun Watson. Wide receivers. Yeah, Calvin Ridley this year. No.
Here's my questions then.
Okay.
Did his time and Julio's time intersect in what? In Tennessee, and did he play with Andre Johnson?
Yeah, I was thinking Andre Johnson myself. I don't think him and Julio overlapped. I don't think.
Yeah, the answer to both of those questions, I believe, is no. But maybe Andre Johnson.
And then my question for running back would be: was he in Arizona and or Tennessee with Adrian Peterson?
God.
Or is this solidly
No.
a David Johnson answer?
Yeah, David Johnson. David Johnson is the right answer here.
Brian, any thoughts there?
I'm okay with David Johnson also. This is a tough one.
It is.
Yeah, because I don't even know any of his.
I mean, he would have played with Trey McBride in Arizona, right? Maybe? No?
Hold on.
Maybe.
Hold on. Hold on.
Stop. Oh, Derrick Henry in Tennessee.
Derrick Henry's the running back because he never played with David Johnson.
Didn't he? Oh, no, he got traded for David Johnson.
And he never played with Derrick Henry.
Yeah, he would have played with Derrick Henry last year with the Titans.
Correct. He wasn't on the Titans last year, was he?
Ooh,
Oh yeah, he was. He was. Yeah, my bad.
What about Zach Ertz at tight end?
Oh, in Arizona?
Yeah.
Would they have surpassed? Because how long? Ertz was only in Arizona for. That's a good question. Yeah, David Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins got traded for each other, so that's a good catch there. Did he and Larry Fitzgerald intertwine in Arizona, or was that?
They did.
Did they?
Yes.
All right. It was either really good or really bad. We need Nick Brinks here. He's phenomenal at this game.
He really is.
All right, let's see how we did. Hey, look at that. Deshaun Watson's our only bad one.
Wow.
So
Who was the right one?
It's got to be Tannehill, right?
No, it's gonna be Kyler. Tannehill. Okay, my bad.
It was Tannehill. Well,
Tannehill.
we did really good.
Do we want to answer some questions, or do we want to play one more?
We can play one more.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll play. Do we want to play today's played for Joe Gibbs, or do we want to find a different one?
What? Yeah, I don't even know.
I could probably do played for Joe Gibbs.
Yeah, let's try it.
All right.
See what happens.
I'm thinking Theismann at quarterback.
So this is guys that played for Joe Gibbs.
Yep.
Oh, geez.
That's only count when they're on the Redskins.
Theismann over Doug Williams?
Yep.
Yeah, Theismann
long
has a lot of stats, yeah.
I'm thinking John Riggins at running back.
That's where I was going as well.
Wide receiver, one of the fun bunch, maybe Gary Clark.
Stay hot, Brian. Stay hot.
Yeah.
Would Santana Moss have counted for him?
That's what I was wondering too. Santana Moss was the name that came to mind for me.
It makes sense.
And then who was their tight end? The big white guy, like Chris Cooley. Was that Chris Cooley?
Yeah, Cooley was the tight end.
All right, let's go Chris Cooley. Hey, we only sucked on Santana Moss.
My bad.
I agreed with you. I think it was a time thing. Like I think it's because Joe Gibbs wasn't there for very long.
Did we do good on the rest of them?
We did A+ on everything. Clinton Portis. Oh, Art Monk. Clinton Portis was the running back. Only slightly better than John Riggins. And Art Monk would have been the wide receiver and or flex. I pulled Chris Cooley out of my hind end there. I just remember, Joe, you've talked about this in the past, those NFL fantasy football commercials. I think Chris Cooley was the one who like stuck his hand through a plyboard and caught the pass.
Yep, the fantasy files. Yep, he was.
Yeah. All right, let's answer a couple of questions here. Let's go to the top. Juan Pena wants to know, should he be worried for Kittle's foot, or should he pick up Komet, Hunter Henry, Zach Ertz? Should he pick a guy up off fantasy waivers here?
If Komet is a free agent in your league is full of morons. Holy
If Komet's
shit.
if Komet's a free agent, pick him up. Play him with
Yeah.
confidence.
I'm not even saying that as a Bears fan. Like, Jesus Christ, your league is full of morons.
You know what I would do on this situation? So I think Kittle plays, but he plays
it's Monday
Sunday
night, isn't it?
Right.
He plays
Monday
tonight.
night. Monday night is Freiermuth, so why not pick up
Yeah.
Freiermuth just in case he doesn't play?
Oh, good call. Yeah, pick up Freiermuth, and yeah, good call. Look at you, Brian. That's a good call. Yeah, pick up Penn State Pat. I'd pick up
And
Cole too if you got the room for it. But
That's three. Isn't Ertz a top 12 tight end? How many players are in this league, dude? Is there only 4 teams?
Yeah,
Holy
exactly.
Christ.
Juan also wants to know. He wants to know who to start for his wide receiver 2 and who to flex. I'm gonna say wide receiver 2 should be DJ Moore. And anybody but Alexander Madison or Jacoby Myers for your flex. Oh, flex Kenneth Walker. What are you thinking, Juan? So start DJ Moore at wide receiver 2 and flex Kenneth Walker. Right?
Yeah, that's not even close.
Yeah. Anybody but Alexander Madison, Jacoby Myers, though, because Jacoby Myers is going to be on McDuffie Island, and Alexander Madison's playing the greatest run defense since the '85 Bears. So he's going to go off because I said that.
I'm sorry, my brain is melting out of my ears right now. I just look up. That's in PPR leagues. 3 top 9 tight ends just sitting in free agency.
And he wants to know which defense. I'm guessing you're picking somebody off the waiver wire.
I'm going the Bears.
All right. I'll agree with you, Brian. I know nothing about defenses, so I'm a fan of a team that I want to score lots of points, and now they play defense. It's just weird.
Yeah, that's what you get. Yeah, it's definitely, if you're streaming a defense out of this group this week, who the Ravens play? The Browns. Oh, that's a good one. The Bears, because the stretch they have coming up is actually pretty good, where they're playing Arizona next week. Granted, it's on the road, and then after that they have the Cardinals, and the Bears have been a top real defense and a top fantasy defense as well.
I think you meant to say, Joe, that they're playing the Cardinals next week, and after that they're playing the Patriots. So
isn't that what I said?
No, you said they're playing Arizona next week, and then they're playing the Cardinals.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I'm a dumbass. You're right. They are playing the Patriots the week after. Sorry, huffed too much enamel today. Shout out to the movie Airplane.
Not a bad idea, picking up the Bears and starting them for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but the Ravens today are playing the DOA Browns. But are the Browns DOA today with Jameis Winston starting? The world will never know. So maybe the Bears are the plan.
Baltimore's next game after that's Denver. So I mean, they're kind of in the same situation. Not as bad, but
the worst thing about Baltimore is they have absolutely zero pass defense.
Correct.
Alrighty, and last one for Juan. get it out of the way. You want to know if he should drop Downs or Jacoby Myers for Hunter Henry. Assuming this is the same as the previous question, drop Jacoby Myers for Pat Fryermuth. And drop Josh Downs for Cole Kmet. All right.
If it's just this, though, should you drop Downs or Myers for Henry? If they're just sitting on your bench, keep Downs stashed just in case. Like one day, if Richardson doesn't play and you get Flacco back, that's kind of what I would do if you can afford to.
All right, let's head to commercial. On the backside, we'll play everybody's favorite game, Flex, Marry, Kill.
Serving the Quad Cities area since 1973. And with over 50 years of excellence on their track record, you'll see why it's so easy to trust their experts when it comes to all of your home improvement projects. This family-owned business has you covered on all your needs. Protect your home or building from the elements today and get great roof repair services. Need new windows? No problem. Durham Remodeling can upgrade your windows and doors. Whether you want to upgrade the little details in your home or office, or want to tear a room down and start fresh, the expert contractors at Durham Remodeling have your back. Even the smallest changes can completely transform your space. Ready to start entertaining your friends for backyard barbecues? Durham Remodeling will help you plan, design, and build your deck and patio for the perfect outdoor space. Durham Remodeling's work is 100% guaranteed, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best service around. Call 309-786-6715 today for your free estimate for all your roofing, siding, flooring, windows, and painting needs. That's Durham Remodeling, 309-786-6715.
Alrighty, we are back playing a little Flex, Marry, Kill. Our first one at running back. Flex, Marry, Kill. Tony Pollard, Chase Brown, Najee Harris.
Today I'm going to marry Najee Harris, to be honest. Flex, I would go with probably Tony Pollard just because of volume, and Chase Brown will be my kill for the day.
Hold on, I got to pull the sheet up. Can you run the names back to me again? I'm a douchebag.
Tony Pollard, Chase Brown, Najee Harris.
Oh, man. God.
I feel
Najee
obligated
Harris.
Yeah.
Najee Harris, I guess I'm going to kill him, but he actually played decent last week. Screw it. I'm sticking with the bid. He sucks. He's not a good football player. Najee Harris killed, marrying Chase Brown and flexing Tony Pollard for this week.
I am going to marry Najee. I am going to flex Chase Brown, and I am going to kill Tony Pollard. I saw a stat going into last week. He had like 360 some odd rushing yards, and he had 360. So I think it was like 360 rushing yards, and he had 364 yards after contact. That's how bad their offensive line. And then I also feel the obligation to start Chase Brown this week because he and his brother Sidney Brown, who is a DB for the Eagles, are the first set of identical twins to play against each other in NFL history. So,
oh wow, I didn't know that one.
So I feel obligated to go that. And plus, my line, I got cooked last night. So
they did.
Alrighty, I guess this one's gonna be easy. Obviously, I made this before we knew he was out. Flex, Marry, Kill, Tank Dell, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and Deontay Johnson. We're obviously killing Deontay Johnson.
Yep. I think without Metcalf, I would marry JSN and then flex the other one.
Yeah, I would agree.
I agree with Brian. Shout out to Chris Steele.
And then on National Tight Ends Day, Flex, Marry, Kill, Cade Otton, Cole Kmet, Dalton Kincaid.
Ooh. I'm going, well, this is for Joe. I mean, Joe, you're a Tampa Bay fan, right?
No, I'm a Bears fan.
Okay. Well, anyhow, I'm going to go with Kate Otten as my Mary just because everybody else is out of the lineup.
Correct. They are all dead. They have all been
Yep.
killed.
They've all been killed. And then I'll go with Cole Kmet as my flex, and I'll kill Kincaid.
I would agree with that. I agree with Brian.
Shout out to Chris Steele. DJ's sad today. Someone go give DJ a hug.
No, I'm happy. It's
Chris
National
Steele.
Tight Ends Day.
What's Chris still up to these days? Being a married man and a
Yeah. Yeah, some of us take that job seriously.
Yep.
He is one of them.
The inactives have come out. No Travis Etienne, no T. Higgins, no Mike Evans, no Alan Lazard, no Marlon Humphrey, no Justin Simmons, no Will Levis, and no L'Jarius Sneed.
God.
So Higgins is out.
He is.
Yep, Higgins is out. Wonder
Wow.
who he got hurt with.
He got hurt yesterday or Friday in practice. And then that means Bucky Irving, Zay Flowers, and Tyreek Hill all active. Alrighty, and last one, Flex Mary Kill, Baker, Tua, and Bo Nix.
Well, a lot of people like Bo Nix this week, but I'm afraid I'm still going to have to just kill him. I guess I'll marry Tua, and I'll flex Baker without all of his commodities. So,
Yeah, it's probably the right call. Bo Nix is Jesus. Bo Nix has officially become the new poster boy for the switching between fantasy and reality. Like watching Bo Nix play football is just a disaster. But they're winning, and and he's good at hitting checkdowns.
And he's been decent at running the ball too.
Fair. Go Broncos or whatever. But
Bronco
yeah,
country. Let's ride.
let's die. Yeah, it's a Bo Nix kill. Speaking of death.
Alrighty, that is our last one. Let's answer some more questions. Hey, this one has to do with Bo Nix. He's got Jaden Daniels. Should he grab Bo Nix, Geno, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Drake May, or Justin Herbert? Last I knew, Jaden Daniels is expected to play.
Yeah, he's gonna play. Definitely snipe Drake May though. Just even to have on your bench. Because yeah, he's awesome. And if Jaden Daniels gets dinged again, going to Drake May would not be a bad option.
Even though Drake May plays the Bears in a couple of weeks.
That is correct. That is very correct. But hey, again, having both of them, unless the commies bye week is the week they play the Bears play the Pats, then which it is not. So there, yeah. See, stash them both. Get all the rookie quarterbacks, baby.
All right, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Tank Dell, half-point PPR.
that's a tough one. I think as bad as he's been, I still have to go with Marvin Harrison Jr.
I would agree.
Yeah, Tank Dell is, it's not, not good this year. Guys coming up broken legs. Harder than it looks.
Alrighty. Impossible is also looking for one wide receiver, one flex. Zay Flowers, JSN, Michael Pittman, Christian Kirk, Ricky Pearsall, Chuba, Chase Brown, Eckler, Tyrone Tracy.
First two.
Yeah, agreed.
One flex. Yeah, Flowers for sure. And then Eckler. Look at that. No, yeah, JSN 2. They play the Bills. Yeah, Yeah, let it ride. Let the chopper spray. What's the worst that could happen? You lose?
With Higgins probably out, which we know he is now out, McConkey, Ridley, Wicks, Pearsall.
I'm going to go with Wicks just because the Green Bay offense is going to do quite a bit today. They're all honestly kind of dice rolls anyway. So why not go with a better offense?
That's a fantastic logic. Because I was going to say starting to counter your point, starting any Packers receiver just seems volatile because you get mad that you have them in your starting lineup and then they sucked.
Yeah.
God, starting Ricky Pearsall having 2 touchdowns tonight sounds fun, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. The only thing about
With a-
Pearsall, we don't know about Debo. If Debo plays, Pearsall's value is not that great.
Maybe,
Who are the
though,
other two?
because you've got no Ayuk and you got no Juwan Jennings. So, I mean, it kind of.
And Kittle's dinged.
This might be
Purdy's
a
been
Ricky
playing good.
Pearsall mini min moment.
Yeah.
It could be. He wasn't great last week though, but first game.
Whenever Reynolds from the Broncos is active again, we definitely need to parlay Pearsall and Reynolds in a parlay and
The many men parlay.
I'm gonna get canceled for saying this, but if
And
he
Brian
plays,
Robinson.
so if they play if Reynolds plays before the presidential election, you got to parlay Pearsall, Reynolds, Brian Robinson, and Trump to win the election. Like anytime touchdown for those guys, and then Trump to win the election, and just call it the mini min parlay.
And a Nick Castellanos home run.
Yeah, Nick Castellanos home run. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to lighten the mood there before somebody got their panties in a bunch and decided
Before somebody took me seriously here.
Yeah, before somebody like raided your house because they're no fun and they get angry at stuff online. Can only imagine what that person's social media looks like. They're probably bad hangs too.
And last one before we go to commercial. We got time for a couple more. Ravens Show Yo wants to know Cream Hunt or Debo. I think with Debo playing Sunday night, you gotta go Cream Hunt.
Ravens
Agreed.
Show Yo. Browns money line. That's what I say. No, I'm just kidding. Joke, just joshing you, bro. Oh boy. You guys said Cream Hunt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say
with Debo playing Monday night or Sunday night and not knowing, I wouldn't risk it.
Yeah. Plus,
if you know something before 3:00 about Debo, which I doubt you will, but
and he's playing, and Kareem's playing at a crazy clip right now, man. Don't start him against the Raiders.
I haven't heard any. If I haven't heard anything about any possibility of CEH being active. If CEH was active, I might feel a little less willing to go Hunt, but I guess he's going to make his debut, but still, yeah.
You know what's made me happy? Oh, shit. Never mind. Not happy anymore because I just saw a question that we're going to get to eventually.
Uh-oh.
God damn it.
And let's grab Jason Ortiz before we go to commercial. Start one, Tony Pollard, Michael Pittman Jr., Jalen McMillan. I'm going McMillan.
Oh, man, that's tough because it's like...
What were the choices again?
Pollard, Pittman, McMillan.
I'll go McMillan.
And pick 2, Cortland Sutton, Michael Pittman, McMillan, and Wandale Robinson.
Wandale. God, man. Going back to that last one, Pollard and Pittman versus a rookie, like who's normally the third receiver. That just shows how volatile fantasy football is. It's like
right.
Bona fide are like Pollard's been decent this year. They are playing a very tough matchup today, though. Michael Pittman normally good, but his quarterback doesn't throw him the football. And here comes Jalen McMillan just strolling in, doing the Vince McMahon Billy strut. like it's no one's business. Start to Sutton, Pittman, McMillan, Wandale. Oh my God! Here's more. Just bash your head into a chainsaw.
More Jalen McMillan.
More Jalen McMillan. Yeah, let's all manifest Jalen McMillan having one today.
All right, let's head to commercial here.
Holy fuck me, bro! I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
When you're working to achieve your financial goals, it helps to have some trusted guidance along the way. Jared Zook with Country Financial is here to help you identify your goals and provide more support to work through any changes life may bring. As both a financial advisor of Country Trust Bank and registered representative of Country Capital Management Company, Jared can help you plan for your financial future. As a Country Financial insurance agent, he's prepared to help you with insurance options to protect the people and the things that matter most. Jared is there to support you as you plan for the future and to help you worry less and live more. Jared is licensed to insure in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Iowa, Indiana, Kansas, Missouri, and Tennessee. Call Jared today at 217-698-0599 or find him on Facebook at Jared Zook Financial Representative and tell him For Frequency's Sake sent you.
Do you love everything sports? So do we. That's why we shop at Atomic Sports Cards and Collectibles. Atomic has everything you could ever want to blow up your collections. They have sports cards ranging from the 1980s to today, whether it's singles, wax packs, hangers, or boxes. They've got vintage hats, clothes, and collectibles from your favorite teams to widen your collection. Check out Atomic Sports Cards and Collectibles today at 102 4th Street West, Milan, Illinois.
For Frequency's Sake has you covered on all things sports. From the squared circle to the hardwood and the gridiron to the speedway, we've got something for everyone. Walk down the aisle with the boys from Cards Subject to Change every Sunday as they take a deep dive into everything pro wrestling. Head on over to the hardwood with Doug Green and Watching the W each week for all the news from the WNBA. Want more insight from Pit Row? Check out the Green, White, and Checkered podcast where they give their insight on everything happening on and off the track. Need your gambling fix? We've got you there. Dan Hancock and Gotham Gambling will help you cover the spread with the Golden Ticket Show. Football more your style? Explore the waters of NFL DFS with DFS Deep Dive with Brian Craighead and Jordan Kernan each week. More into the science portion of the game? The Professor John Bush and Dennis Michelson take you into their science lab and dissect your week in the data lab. Need to know who to start last minute? The network's flagship show, For Fantasy's Sake, is here in a pinch. The fellas come to you live every football Sunday from 10 to 11:30 Central with the week's best DFS, gambling, and lineup advice. And wrap up your Sundays with Joe Winkle and Nick Brinks as they come to you live with educated ignorance, looking at all the day's action. Not enough football on Sunday? Not a problem. Kick your feet up at lunch on Monday and slip into the football lounge with Mark and Dan while they look at the week that was in news, notes, and more. For frequency's sake, you know what we mean.
All righty, Joe, it's your time to shine. Let's talk about our Sinister Six for the week.
All right, let's let it rip. There has been a line that has moved like crazy, so one of these is no longer valid because I made this at. I put this together last night at like 11:30 at night, and then found out some news about one of the games on this list at about 1 in the morning. So, but hey, we're still gonna let it ride today, even though that line is wrong. But it's fine. Okay. I'm just pulling up everything to make sure no other lines have crazily moved. Let's take a sip from the old chalice. And let's get cooking.
Is this the Bears line down now at
Yeah, it's flipped like crazy.
5? It's last I looked, it was half a point.
Yeah, it's last it's probably something like that. It's that or 1 or something, but it's the other team's favorite now. All right, but it's cool. I sent you this, and I didn't. Like I said, I put this together literally an hour before JJ.
Well, so when I started working on it this morning, it was the half a point, and I just did like the alt line, and then the alt line got us to the
plus 108. Let's go.
Yeah.
Fuck
yeah. So I mean, yeah, no, and I think that's so. I was kind of chatting because I'm like, you sent it to me, and I hadn't seen anything on I hadn't seen anything on Daniels yet. So I was kind of curious what was going on because I checked there and it was, I think on DraftKings it was 1.5 still.
Yeah, it's
Bears 1.5, and
Oh, yeah.
then I went to Fanatics Sportsbook and it's now Bears +1
It's
live on DraftKings, and then
Vandals
so I
1.5.
went to Fanatics Sportsbook. By the way, I don't know. I mean, I'm not stumping for any sports books, but if you're gonna get a loved one, anything for Christmas that's NFL related, they gave me $100 in free bets. So that and you don't have to make one $100 free bet. You can make a series of bets.
Let's go. We're
So
out here.
Fanatics, yeah, I mean, why not, right?
Sportsbook, sponsor us, please.
Yeah. And so
Fanatics
the Bears,
for the Sportsbook. Shout out to them.
the Bears are plus 0.5 on Fanatics.
Everyone has a sportsbook now.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, and the Bears are plus 1.5 on FD. Let's cook here though. We're gonna start in Cincinnati. This is a Bengals Eagles. We're laying it with the Bengals today. Everyone's gonna flip their tits in a bunch because the Eagles played well against the Giants last week. And 2 weeks ago they actually didn't 2 weeks ago they won as well. Yeah, they beat the Browns, who were DOA. Listen, the Eagles are still insanely mid. Their defense is bad. Do I worry a little bit about the Bengals offensive line in this situation? Against the Eagles, the lone thing they're good at is their defensive front. Could be a slight worry. We will see. But as of right now, we're laying the Bengals 2.5. I really like this. This game means way more to Cincinnati than it does Philadelphia, in my opinion, even though the NFC wildcard race is much tighter. I just think the Bengals are the better team. At home, you're laying less than a field goal, so Bengals minus 2.5. Offense gets back on track today. In the upper Northeast, we're going to Foxborough, Massachusetts, and we're going to play the over in a game that in the first meeting only scored 27 total points. Well, in that first meeting, one of the two quarterbacks was quarterbacked by my dead father. New England against the Jets. It's the first thing that I could come up with. RIP
That's
to Herbert Winkle. He would have been better than Jacoby Brissett. That's all I'm saying. We're already off the rails right now. I think the overs. So we're 2 weeks into the Drake May experience, and both games went over by a very significant margin. I know that well because I played the under in the first Drake May start, and that over sailed. Last week, the game went over between them and Jacksonville. I think this is a New England offense that's kind of coming together. Drake May is really good. Their defense is very bad. So I think both of these offenses are going to shine today. And I think this game is offensively, I think it's going to look a lot better than it did back when these two teams played on Thursday night in week 3, I believe that was. So give me the over 41.5 in that one. Back on the laying point side here again, road favorites this season started off terrible. Just, favorites in general started off terrible. But over the last couple weeks, road favorites have been killing it, like 16 and like 2 or 3 against the spread. It's been insane. We're going to ride one here. Atlanta on the road against Tampa Bay. This is an example of losing one game turns into losing 2 games. Short week. Mike Evans done for a month at least, and it could be longer. That did not look good. Chris Godwin definitely done for the year. Hate to see that. And the Bucks just, it's a tough spot to be in. If they won today, that would be one of the more impressive wins of the season to come back off a short week. Yes, I know the game is in Tampa, but I think this is an absolutely need to have game. Listen, I'm not going to go out of my way and say I listen to the Ringer podcast. I listen to the Bill Simmons podcast all the time, and they had a guy on there. Shout out to Anthony DeBundo, who's like, if Atlanta wins this game, the division's over. Like a 1-game division lead through 8 weeks. Like, no, the division's not over, you moron. But whatever.
I mean, isn't it though? I mean, Tampa's not gonna get like how long does that Evans injury last? And
No, I understand. I
is
agree. I just
Baker
hate
good
that.
enough to carry them with Jalen McMillan and Sterling Shepard?
I agree. And Atlanta would own the tiebreaker because they would have swept. My logic is just it'd be a 1-game lead for the Falcons, and there's still 11 weeks of football or 10 weeks of football left.
For sure.
That's my logic there.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you can call a division race over when there's a 1-game gap with
That's fair.
more than half the season left. So I don't think a win today would clinch the South for the Falcons, but it would be a very far step in the right direction. But I say all that to say this. If Atlanta can't win this game, big tough, but because I think this is a big time get off the mat moment for them. They've already lit the Bucks up once, and last week was tough for them, so I expect them to bounce back, laying less than a field goal on the road against a shorthanded Bucks team. Here's the game of the day, game of the year, game of the century, maybe. Bears at Commanders. The commies, the C words. Listen, we took this at -2.5 last night because the Bears were, I thought, playing Marcus Mariota. We are now, you can outline this to the Bears to -2.5. You can take the points, the +1.5. Here's the full curtain drawn back moment here. You're taking, in my opinion, the better team in this situation. I understand that the Washington Commanders offense is on par analytically with like the greatest show on turf Rams and the and like the undefeated season Patriots. I get it. Okay, understood. I'm just going to say this. People have been playing the who did the Bears play game for the last month since their offense has actually played well. But who the fuck have the Commanders played over the stretch where like and I'm not this guy because it's about how you play instead of who you play. The Washington Commanders offensively lit up the bad defense Bengals, the Arizona Cardinals, who are a JFL unit on defense, the dead on arrival Browns, and the literally JFL Western Big Six contending Carolina Panthers. I am not saying that this is a bad thing. Play who you play and beat the brakes off of them. I am just saying it's annoying for me, not just because I am a Bears fan, but it's like you only see one side of it because people are just like here. How do I say it? It's like they're conditioned to be like anything that the Bears do is fake. Like everyone is just here's life as a Bears fan. Just pulling back the curtain here. We have time. Everyone is just assuming the Bears are going to lose all their games in the NFC North. Everyone says the NFC North is great, but the Bears kind of frauds. Like, listen, they're a good team. They kind of, sort of, absolutely, definitely have a bona fide, no doubt, top 5 defense in the league. Their offense has some flaws still, yes, but in this game, it's a very good defense against a team that is playing a banged up quarterback. At least I think he's probably still banged up a little bit, unless all week they were like hoodwinking us, which they could have been maybe. I want this game to be a lights out barn burning shootout, and I don't think it's a disaster if the Bears win. I just think, in my opinion, today I'm going to let it fly, and I'm going to bet the better team, and the better team is the Chicago Bears. In my opinion, so that's where we're going to let it roll today. Bears win on the field. Whether you're laying it, Whether you are taking them now plus the points does not matter. That's where we're at today. All right. Sorry, rant over, DJ. I apologize. Diatribe. Moving on. It's a toxic game. That game is going to spew toxic results no matter what. The only more toxic game that could happen this week is if the Bears played the Steelers and Justin Fields was starting. All right, next up, Kansas City versus Vegas. Chiefs unders. Inject them into my bloodstream. Under 41.5. The Raiders are quarterbacked by, they're quarterbacked by just a plethora of fantastic people like Paul Feinbaum. They are quarterbacked by current 95-year-old walking corpse Lee Corso. And they are also quarterbacked by Kirk Herbstreit's dog, Ben. Shout out to him. Lovely dude, golden retriever. Go find Kirk Herbstreit on Twitter. Ben is a lovely specimen, and it will bring you joy to your life to see what college football SIDs and, media credential people do for this dog. It's great. But that is their quarterback room. And I don't think that they're going to do much no matter who's playing today against the Chiefs defense, who's really good. If we did a unit draft today, I think I would take the Chiefs defense number 1 overall. I really do think that. So yeah, that's where we're at. Chiefs Raiders under 41.5. The only way this doesn't hit, DJ, would you agree, is if the Chiefs offense just decides to double middle finger this game and score 35 points?
Yeah, I think there's a chance.
So that's the one thing I'm worried about. I'm not going to lie. And last, we've already talked about it. This is listen, if you're a Panthers fan, I am sorry, but this is, holy fade. Starting Bryce Young in welcome back, Bryce, to the land of relevancy. Your gift back into this world is playing in Denver against who I don't think is great, but their defense has been really good. They have feasted on just bad quarterback play this year. But they're also legitimately good. They shut down Tampa. They shut down the Jets, who I know the Jets have a mediocre offense, but they put them in a blender. But when I say feasted on bad quarterback play, look what they did to Spencer Rattler last week. Holy Christ, that was NSFW type stuff. What they did to the Saints last week. And the Panthers are without a lot of their weapons. I laid this not even realizing that Thielen and Deontay Johnson might not play. Good luck, dude. Good effing luck. Yeah. So the play here is team total under 14.5. What's gonna happen? What's more, this total or the amount of yards the Panthers are gonna have in the first I'm just kidding. They're gonna have their first play will probably be a 20-yard pass and it'll make that take moot. But all things considering. Yeah, team total under 14.5. Are the Panthers going to have more than 2 scores? If they do, then I guess this is a losing bet, but I will gladly play this. Love the fact that it's at a key number. We can take it under 2 scores. So even if they do have 2 scores, again, under a key number, we're going to let it ride. So that's where we're at. You can see it here. The beautiful graphics department at For Frequency Sake. It's just, we should pay them a lot of money. Somebody sponsor our graphics team, aka
All right.
DJ and Danny.
Let's head to commercial. On the backside, we'll talk a little DFS.
My name's Ryan Allison. I've spent over a decade immersed in the art of tattooing. Sharply honing my skills has materialized into a diverse and prestigious body of work. Each tattoo reflects my relentless pursuit of excellence, and every client I work with is a living embodiment of that unwavering commitment. I will gladly and wholeheartedly embrace your distinct vision.
Alrighty, we are back talking a little DFS with Brian. Brian, this is the graphic that Jordan had put together with his top plays and his bargain bins. Obviously, he's looking at a little Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase stack. What's your favorite stack this week?
I do like that stack. I was hoping Higgins would play, but now that he's not, Chase is a little bit more expensive. So a couple others that I like to throw out there is the Tua and Hill combo, the stack there. And I also like Caleb Williams and DJ Moore this week. And if you really want to go really contrarian, I don't know what he's going to do, but like I've said, the Ravens secondary stinks. So I'm actually into going with Cedric Tillman.
Yeah.
So,
I think an interesting, because I like to do the bring it back stuff. I think it'd be really interesting to go a Burrow Chase stack, bring it back with Devonta Smith. I think that would be one of the more fun, especially with Dallas Goedert out. I think that Smith will kind of benefit from being able to catch a little bit more, underneath and everything.
yeah, I agree with that. Another interesting, like I said, would be seeing how that Cleveland Browns stack goes and bringing it back with Derrick Henry.
To do a Jameis Winston and Cedric Tillman with the Derrick
go
Henry?
with Jameis Winston,
Be interesting.
Cedric Tillman, and bring it back with Derrick Henry. I just wonder a little bit about Jameis. In DraftKings, they don't. I'm pretty sure they don't penalize interceptions. So in that case, I mean, I think Jameis is going to have to throw the ball to see if they can be competitive at all.
I'd be interested to see what the ownership projections on Jameis are.
Same here.
So according to this, the ownership projection on him is 4.07.
So you could be going quite contrarian, and like I said, I don't really know what he's going to do that first game, but against the secondary, I think he's got a shot. And the one thing about it, between those two guys, it's only $8,500 to get that stack. So I mean, you would save money elsewhere. So
that'd be definitely a thing. I'd be kind of curious to see. I'm gonna see if I have any crowns to put together a DraftKings lineup and see how that kind of works out today. Is there anybody who you feel like you definitely want inside of a lineup this week? You're 100% playing?
Well, there's a few options. First of all, it was really important to me that the running backs, you need to pay up a little bit for that this week. So guys that I would consider, I was looking at a sheet here. Breece Hall's on the sheet. I would go with that. Kenneth Walker, Devon Achane. You have to pay up a little bit at running back, and you have to also your savings are going to be at wide receiver and tight end. I agree with him on K. Dotton there for the Bucks, but I also like Jalen McMillan at $3,500. Cedric Tillman is $33,000. So able to get your higher paid running backs, you're going to have to pay down elsewhere, and the opportunity is at wide receiver. There's a lot of good wide receivers for cheap this week. And another tight end I kind of like is Njoku at $4,100.
Otten's super cheap, considering the target share he'll have. The thing that I kind of concerned with him is his ownership. 15% ownership, almost 16%. But it's like one of those. Do you really want to miss out on potentially having the top guy?
Yeah, everybody's viewing it as a free square, and I understand. I mean, you got to understand the pricing was done after the Monday night. I mean, before the Monday night game. So
right.
It's that's the big thing about it is this. The question's one of two. I mean, is Tampa Bay going to be able to score against the Falcons at all? According to Vegas, I think it was a 2.5 point spread. So they're expecting the game to be competitive. The big question is, will it? I think it will personally, but we'll see.
I can't get away with asking, especially with it being National Tight Ends Day. What's your plan at tight end? Are you kind of doing the free space with Otten, or are you kind of paying up for somebody else?
No, I think I'm doing the free space. But that being said, I see Brock Bowers here, and that makes sense. He's actually right now, and not sorry, Travis. Right now Bowers is tight end 1, and he's actually almost like a wide receiver with his target share. And I heard on one of the podcasts I like to listen to that he is, for his salary, he's a wide receiver 46. So yeah, he's going to probably have a better day than wide receiver 46. So I think you either go Otten or you go all the way up and go Bowers. So whichever way you want to go.
And the Chiefs have been not great against the tight end, so.
Well, yeah, I think I saw the stat that they're 32nd against tight ends. So
yeah, not great, Bob. Not great, Bob, at all. I mean, a lot of that comes out from Likely's game in week 1, getting torched there. But alrighty, let's head to a. Go ahead.
We're kind of, since we're in week 8, I agree with you on the week 1 thing, but after 6 other weeks, it's not skewing it nearly as much as it would after like week 2 or 3.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. All right, let's head to commercial. On the backside, we will answer more questions and get everybody out of here so they can set their lineups.
You from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football. Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and Twitter, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
You from the West. We got you covered.
All righty. 808 D013 wants to know, who does he start at running back? He has Barkley and Henry, obviously he's starting them. So he wants to know 1 running back, 1 flex. Trey Mason, Zach Moss. Joe called for that Zach Moss question earlier this week. Tank Bigsby, George Pickens, and Olave. I feel like you got to go Olave and Trey Mason, right?
This is what I was. Oh, go ahead, Brian.
I'm not agreeing with that. Not with Olave. Not with Spencer Rattler starting.
Yeah, I think Spencer Rattler will. We haven't got an opportunity to see him pepper him with targets. So,
if it was up to me, I'm going Mason and Pickens.
Yeah, that's not
I can
bad.
see that.
That's not bad at all. Yeah, I saw this, and there's one more earlier when I said I was happy, and then I realized quickly I wasn't happy. That guys, stop asking Zach Moss questions, please. Read the room, understand how football works, and understand Zach Moss has been sent to the federal penitentiary in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Kyle Singer wants to know, pick 2, Chubb, Dobbs, Shakur, and McMillan.
I would say pick 2. People are wide receiver 2 and flex. I'm turning completely heel and just answering Jalen McMillan for all of them. Yeah, let's have Jalen McMillan cook today. As long as the Falcons score 3 more points than the Bucks, I'm fine with it. I'm gonna say Dobbs and McMillan.
That's what I'm gonna say. The only one I would not play is Chubb.
Yeah, gotta see it be more than like 20 yards for me to actually want to play him.
Yeah, the worst thing about it is Baltimore's defense is really good against the run. So,
Jai Chang Ni wants to know, Tony Pollard or Chase Brown? Gotta go.
I'm going Chase Brown. It's not real pretty, but
yes, sir.
Alrighty. Amir Issa wants to know, Zay or Debo? It's going to be Zay for me, brother.
Me too.
Absolutely. Zay's a must start.
Yeah.
But if your team is questioning if Zay should start, that's a pretty good team. So
the worst thing about it is Debo plays tonight. Zay's already been declared active. So
Yeah, that's where I'm at on that as well. Andrew wants to know Dobbs, McMillan, Tillman, or Tyrone Tracy. I'm gonna Jalen McMillan. Stick with the bet here.
yeah, let's roll. Happy Jalen McMillan Day to all who celebrate. Shout out to his 1 catch for 6 yards today that's incoming.
Right.
I'm okay with it.
David B wants to know Travis Etienne or for Chase Brown. Yeah, you should trade Etienne for Chase Brown. Etienne might be dead right now.
Didn't Etienne get declared out?
Yeah, but he's asking if he should trade him. Trade. For him.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I didn't
I'm
mean
going
to be
Chase
spicy
Brown.
as I was.
I'm going to the Chase Brown side, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Same. All right, Lydia is playing Danny in fantasy football. She has to replace Curtis Samuel because he's out. Should she start Keenan Allen, Joe Mixon, or Rome Odunze? I'm going.
Oh my goodness, Joe Mixon, not even close.
Yeah, he went nuts against the Colts week 1. I expect him to do better today, especially considering Bobby Slowick just loves handing the ball off to him.
I think he had 150 plus yards in week 1, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a big game.
And he had like 180 just last week. So, yeah, it's Joe Mixon. I wouldn't even think about it.
Beat his arse. Joey wants to know Pollard or Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm anti Tony Pollard. So
I'm anti both of them, but I'm going to go with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, so Tajay Spears is out. So Pollard is going to get a few more touches in the pass game. So,
but against the Lions, I'm not sure it's going to matter.
Right. Who's Tennessee's backup?
Yes.
Oh, my bad. Back
running back fella.
Sorry. My bad.
All right. Next question. Lydia says Danny misses Joe.
I miss you too, Daniel.
Roach cheetah. That sounds terrifying. Could you imagine a cheetah, a roach, the speed of a cheetah, or a cheetah the size of a roach? All right, pick 3. Zach Moss, Ladd McConkey, Zay Flowers, Bucky Irvin, Jalen McMillan, Jake Ferguson, Hunter Henry, Kyle Pitts, and Tyrone Tracy. I'm going Flowers, McMillan, and Bucky Irving.
That sounds good. I was going to just go McMillan 3 times, but
it's like Beetlejuice. Speaking of our good friend Danny, he sent me this ATTD.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. He sent it to me, and if it's
okay.
It is the National Tight Ends Day one.
Yeah, I forgot to mention it earlier because I'm a bad friend.
Yeah, no, we'll get to it.
I'm also Kyle Pitts deep in Illinois basketball right now.
Sterling Shepard or Wandale Robinson, full PPR. I'm gonna go with the better quarterback and go Sterling Shepard.
But his name's Wandale.
Wandale's from my hometown, so we're going Wandale Robinson.
Wandale!
We were from Frankfort, Kentucky. I don't think there's ever been another athlete from there.
Definitely, he's never been another guy named Wandale, even though that's not his actual name. We're going to get canceled for saying that. Wandale from Kentucky.
Yep.
All right. Giesh wants to know, do I flex Montgomery or Devonta Adams? Also have Dobbins, Swift, Neighbors, and Amon-Ra.
I'm going to go with Montgomery.
I almost want to say bench Dobbins and play Montgomery and Devontae. I almost want to say that.
Yeah, I could see that as an option. They the Saints' run defense is kind of like a sieve. Just ask Javonte Williams, but
Joe, is SEC Network on ESPN Plus?
Should be. You don't want to turn it on though. It's bad.
I know it's bad.
They look like a team that they look like a team that's never played a game together before.
Well,
JJ, what exhibitions are for, baby?
JJ Witt wants to know Otten or Kincaid and Mostert or Chuba. I'm going Otten and Mostert.
Same here.
Joe, it's just like the last time that the Illini played a basketball game. It's fine.
Correct. The other team just not missing shots ever.
Rampage wants to know Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers, or Diggs. I'm going to go Zay. Zay is what I say.
I'm going to go Diggs here.
Zay Flowers. Give it to me.
Hakuna Matata, what a wonderful phrase, wants to know need a flex, Laporta, Mostert, or Rashad White. Rashad White is active. I know, so is Bucky Irving. I'm going to go, you got to go Laporta because he's the better of the three players, but White's going to be involved a lot in the passing game.
Assuming this is PPR, I'm going to go Rashad White because, like you said, he's going to be involved in the passing game.
A ton. If it's not PPR, Laporta. If it is, Rashad White. K. Miles wants to know Marvin Harrison Jr. or Rico Dowdle, and I'm going Marvin Harrison Jr.
You'd have to like kidnap my family at gun and hold them at gunpoint for me to start a Cowboys running back.
Same here.
Bro.
Give me Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding.
Dalvin Cook.
Alrighty. J. King Nee wants to know Pollard or Stevenson or Chase Brown at flex and PPR. Chase Brown. I'm sticking with it.
I'm going to go with Stevenson. Bounce back game after last week.
Yeah, and we need points in that game. So, Ramondre, let it ride.
Joe, ESPN Plus is telling me my mental health does not want to watch that game. Footy University. What was that?
The score doesn't matter.
I know.
All that matters is who looks good and what.
Footy University wants to know Sterling Shepard, Jake Ferguson, Josh Downs, Mostert, or ETN in the flex.
Actually, it's not that ugly. He said at the beginning it was ugly. I wouldn't mind going Ferguson.
Same. All right. Skona wants to know Khalil Shakir, Rico. Joe, are we starting a Bills wide receiver, a Dallas running back, or a Browns wide receiver?
I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Tillman.
I'm going to go Tillman as well.
I would rather. Oh, God damn it. I can't say that because we actually did it. Oh, I'm funny. I'm very funny. I would rather put rock salt in my eyes and then constantly hit myself in the nuts with one of those tiny fish bats.
All right. Akuna Matata wants to know, he already asked that one. Dylan Fink wants to know full PPR different leagues. He wants to start two of Bateman, Adunze, Shakir, Olave. I'm going to go Adunze, Olave.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And then Komet Ertz.
Komet for me.
Dylan, start your lineup.
They're different leagues, bro. Come on.
No, I know. I mean, it's fine. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
We're here for a lot of things. Jesus Christ. Okay, hold on. I'm going to give legitimate answers here. Start two flex. Bateman, Adunze, Shakir, and Olave. Adunze and Olave. Start one tight end. Komet or Ertz. Komet. Start one quarterback, two running backs.
We haven't got that far yet.
Oh.
So, Tua Daniels Kirk. I'm going Tua.
Yes. And then the two running backs between Jacobs, Dobbins, K9.
Walker and Jacobs.
Yeah, same here.
And then let's go at wide receiver, go Hopkins. And at flex, go Garrett Wilson.
Are you going Hopkins just because of the Chief? Do you think he's going to have a big game today?
I do. I think they're going to have a big game. I think that they're going to go I think they're going to go over by themselves. I hope.
They could. They very well could. It's the only thing that I'm really worried about in that game.
All right. Rampage wants to know Marvin Harrison Jr., Zay Flowers, or Diggs. I think we answered that one.
We did.
Yeah. Danny wants us to quit helping. Lydia is her name. DeAndre Starks wants to know if I have Swift and Moore, am I starting both today? Yes.
I'm assuming that's DJ.
Yeah. I'd assume as well.
Yeah, you're starting both Bears.
Darnell Mooney's cousin wants to know Tank Bigsby or Jalen McMillan. We got to stick with the bit and go Jalen McMillan.
Big Jalen McMillan guys here today.
So defensive starter, Bears or Packers today?
Packers.
Ooh. Yeah, just in case. I know I went on a 20-minute lecture earlier, but the Packers have been wheel of turnovers, so hope that you can ride that until the wheels fall off.
I was going to go with the Bears until I saw Daniels is playing. Do you think he'll be able to play the whole game or have a decent game?
That's the thing. The Bears could hit him really hard one time and he could be out. So, I mean, man, I don't know. It's a flip of a coin.
I know.
It's like, do you think that could happen? What's a better chance of happening, that or the Packers like getting an interception or a turnover or two? Because that's like what they've lived off of this year.
Yeah.
Noah Gurvich wants to know Tank Bigsby or Darnell Mooney. I go Bigsby.
Same here.
And he also wants to know Mark Andrews or Zach Ertz. Mark Andrews, man, he's back.
Yep, exactly.
Joe, just say I agree with Brian.
Yeah, he's playing really well. Touchdown merchant, but he's playing well.
He's the a quick thought. DFS 4,000 for Andrews, worth considering.
Rampage 2009 also wants to know Kyler or Dak.
Dak.
Agreed. Joe, make an
answer. Ole Miss hit another 3. That's my answer.
All righty.
I'm sorry. I suck today. Yeah. Let it ride.
Jalen McMillan, let's ride. All right. Eric Anders wants to know half point PPR, start 2, Waddle, DJ Moore, Chubb, McMillan. Let's go DJ Moore and McMillan.
Yes.
I think that'd be my answer even if I wasn't sticking to the bit.
No, I agree as well because I don't want to start Jalen Waddle.
Eric Anders wants to also know Tua, Goff, or Cousins.
I'm going to go with Goff.
Yeah, give me Goff. I don't know why half point PPR matters, Eric Anders, but
it's just part of the bit. Yes, give Jared. He went to Jared. We're all going to Jared.
Oh boy, 41-19. This is great. Ice cold OG Jones wants to know Brock Purdy or Kyler Murray.
Got to go Brock.
Brock Lobster.
And he wants to know Chiefs defense or Ravens defense. I think you got to go with the Ravens defense. I guess both of them. Yeah, let's go Chiefs defense. They're both playing crappy teams with crappy.
Like there's a bet. If there was a chance for either one of those opposing offenses to actually have a pulse, it would be the Browns, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like Cleveland with Jameis, who knows? Maybe
there's a chance.
The Raiders quarterbacked by this bull of pens in front of me. I would think the Chiefs are going to shut them down today.
Half point PPR with Higgins out. Do we go Worthy, Chubb, or Mooney? I'm going to go Worthy. I do think that the Chiefs are going to go out for blood, and I think that there's a chance there's lots of points scored, and they're going to have some deep balls to Worthy to do that. Or
I'm going to go Browns.
Yeah, I think Mooney's the play, though. I mean, I understand DJ's logic here, but the safe is Darnell Mooney. If you're hoping for a crazy boom, it's Xavier Worthy.
Brendan Miller wants to know. Somebody tweeted Ole Miss had to win for Chris Beard's wife.
What happened to her?
Fishing game.
Don't you remember Chris Beard got arrested for domestic after Illinois beat Texas?
Oh yeah, I do now.
Oh yeah.
And
Joe, is this an exhibition game?
Yeah, it's an exhibition game.
That's cool that y'all. When Vanderbilt plays, we always have a secret scrimmage. We never even hear the results of the game. So.
Yeah, some of these games.
We wish we didn't hear the results of this game. It's 41-19.
Some of these games have made TV, like for these bigger programs, like in the SEC and the Big Ten. Or like last night, like Gonzaga. I guess USC's in the Big Ten now, but like Gonzaga USC was on like some Fox subsidiary channel.
Oh wow.
And last one, Brendan Miller wants to know Swift or Jacobs. Let's go Swift. And he wants to know Jada Daniels or Caleb Williams.
I'm going Caleb Williams, but at least they're playing each other, so you'll know for sure that whether Daniels is playing. So.
That's for sure.
You'll know for sure if that's a bad. You'll know for sure if that's a bad pick very fast. No, Caleb Williams is the play. Bears by 1 billion.
All righty, and then Danny's National Tight Ends Day parlay is anytime touchdown for Cade Otton, Sam Laporta, and Travis Kelce. And it's like plus 500, isn't it?
It was plus a lot.
Plus 2420. So Kelce's the lowest odds on that one, and he hasn't scored a touchdown all year. So, all right. Well, Brian, hit us with your tagline.
May all your finishes be winners. Good luck.
Make sure you check out Joe later tonight on Educated Ignorance. I want to wish everybody out there a happy National Tight Ends Day. Unless you're a Raiders fan, may your tight end score this week. And, I guess I have Brock Bowers on fantasy team, so I kind of shouldn't say that, but I'd be okay if Brock Bowers didn't score any touchdowns, just had a good game.
If he had all of their yards.
Yeah, like it's tight end premium, so if he had like 10 catches for like 70 yards, I wouldn't cry.
Might be able to get today.
Yards.
All right. We are out of here. Win some games, win some money today. We'll see you next week.
This has been a For Frequency Sake Podcast Network production. For more great content, subscribe to For Frequency Sake on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.